Okay, hello there, this is Commander Silverton, and the point of this video is to quickly teach you the basic gameplay of Solar Eclipse. Now, what I'm doing for this test scenario is I'm just using a base I made, a base my brother made, the default ships which you could choose from if you're in a real hurry to get into the game. The default cruiser, default carrier, default support, default frigate, blah blah blah. Now, what you do for Solar Eclipse, if you look up a round log, then sorry about that. You look up the round log, and you see what you want to do. Your ship base, of course, the base is first, and the flagship. Base right now is out of range, so is the other flagship. They're not going to matter at all in this test round. This is round 3, I believe. Yeah, turn 2. So I moved into range so that you could see the weapons fire. Now, what happens here is every ship will get a chance to fire. Every ship is going to cycle through and fire their weapons or not fire, and then every ship gets to move. So the default cruiser, you see up here the ship, what ship it is. This is supposed to be for an image of the ship, but you can't see that in Notepad. Who commands it, any things that may have happened, routed power from weapons to shields for increased recharge rate, blah blah blah. You go down here and you see hostile, what ships you want to fire at. The default frigate hostile is 10,070 kilometers away. Now normally this thing has lasers and torpedoes. Now normally you would not be able to reach that. You would not be able to fire that far, but you can because the default cruiser has advanced weapons. So, default cruiser, fire orders, fire lasers and torpedoes at the default frigate. Now remember, I'm the one who's going to be doing this all in the round log. You're just going to post and tell me what you want to do. Fire at what, move on what course, all that jazz. Then you're going to tell me the point defense. Now, this only applies with lasers. These things, for shooting down fighters and missiles. See, if you have 5 lasers on your ship, the maximum amount of things you could shoot down per turn when you're defending is 5. So ships can help ships that are close enough. They could shoot down fighters that are attacking a ship nearby, but only if you select defend all. If you select defend self, then you will fire only the amount of lasers you can fire at yourself. To defend yourself. Now, most of the time, you're going to select, defend all. Marines, how many Marine teams you have, what target. Unfortunately, Marines, you have to be much, much closer. Now, Marine teams, they can sabotage all kinds of things. They can sabotage shields, engines, repair teams, building fighters, hyperspace jumps, or warp drive, whatever that's called, attacking jumps, whatever. So then after you fire your fire orders, move orders. Now, this ship does not have advanced engines, so you can only move regularly on whatever course, or you cannot move. And repair orders, you can repair an extra fighter if you could divert your repair teams to fighters, and that way you'd repair 2 per turn instead of 1. But this ship doesn't have any fighters, so I'm not going to do that. Now, also, you can convert power from weapons to shields automatically if you do not fire. That means your repair teams will recharge your shields twice as fast. So after you move, then it's the next person's turns. The default carrier, I just checked the log. It can fire fighters. The carrier is something that holds fighters and missiles. So fire fighters and missiles at the default cruiser. Now defend all, defend self, that doesn't matter because this thing doesn't have any lasers. Not in range for Marines. Now since this ship is in range, I'm not going to move it. I mean, it's up to you. Default support. This thing only has 1 nuke, which you have to be much closer for, so I'm just going to repair the default cruiser. Repair it. And I'll move with it. Repair ship. You could select whatever course. When you're looking at the round log, you can see, what course that person's on. So, you do that. Move orders. Default frigate. And you can you go and check. Default frigate. Hostile, it's in range because it has advanced weapons. And this thing has 6 torpedoes, so fire, lasers and torpedoes, default cruiser, defend all, doesn't matter, this thing doesn't have any lasers. So then you can, just move in on whatever course you fancy. So then after you tell me all this, what I'm doing is I just save the round. Now unfortunately there's a bit of a glitch on thing, and I have to go back into round generator. And remember, when you're firing and stuff, there's cool sound effects and music and all that jazz. Now, this error, don't worry about it. It was just some sort of error as to why I can't just hit quit and play, why I have to exit out. But anyway, I'm back in. I hit quit and play. And now this is what you'll see when you watch it. The fire phase. See, sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. The more scanners you have, the better. The fighter phase, fire phase. Now, as you can see, it is totally being randomly generated on, how many scanners you have and all that jazz. So I am not like, I like this side better than the other side. No, I hope they win. I am just simply inputting what you want me to input. Now that ship, I think it took 3 fighters were destroyed. So if that ship were to fire fighters again, it would only fire 7 fighters. Okay, now this is the move phase. So every ship got a chance to fire. So it really is fair. The last ship to move always gets a chance. So that ship did not move. The support ship moves. See, I'm having him just his course move up a little bit. So that sees the screenshot. So then that's one round. So I think you get the basic gist. I guess I'll play another round. I'll just pull up the next round log. Battles. Okay, so again the bases are out of range. Default cruiser. Shield strength. It took some damage, unfortunately. Now, oh, I think it can fire Marines. Nope, it can't. I think advanced weapons doesn't really affect Marines. I think that the Marine range still remains the same. I'll try it anyway. Okay, so again, base can't do anything. Base can't do anything. Default cruiser. Fire lasers and torpedoes at default frigate. Marines, 3 Marine teams, default frigate. Remember, once you send Marines over, you can't get them back. They're replenished every 30 turns. So, okay, I'll just see if advanced weapons increases Marine range. Default carrier, fire orders, fighters again, and default cruiser. I guess I'll move in more. Doesn't really matter. Oh, so this is where you'd want to repair fighters, so you get more fighters. Now the default cruiser, carrier this time, carrier, only has 6 fighters remaining, so it will fire 6 fighters this turn. Default support is gonna keep firing lasers into, not lasers, keep repairing the default cruiser. Default frigate is gonna fire again. And this thing doesn't have any Marines at all. So, anyway, there's another round. Save round. And yeah, I hate this whole stupid manual. Do it, you're having to exit and then come back in. Okay, quit and play. And remember, when you go to the viewer, this is what you see now, this part. Okay, so it just fired, 4 lasers. So that means that if somebody else were to fire fighters at it again, or missiles, it would only have 1 defending laser remaining. Now that thing, see, that's the problem with carriers, the whole having to repair fighters thing. Now you may notice that support ship's beams almost hit every time. And that's because, repair beams, it's easier to hit allies because they're not trying to dodge. Now this thing's hull just the default cruiser's hull just got taken out. So now it'll start getting to look real ugly. But now move phase. Now nobody else moved. So okay, that's basically how you play around. That's the basic gist of it. There's different weapon systems, plasma turrets that you did not see in this round. You did not see nuclear warheads or the bases fire and stuff. But that is the basic gist of it. There's not much to it. It may seem boring, but really, it's really fun. There's a lot of strategy to it. The more players you have, the better. So anyway, that's how you play a Solar Eclipse round.